Hi, and welcome to another exciting edition of Scarlet, Betch. I'm Jason.
And I'm Anthony.
And as you can see, Anthony's back in Florida. Tear. And so it's been a little bit since we've casted, so much stuff has come out since we've last spoke. So I'm going to start right off with our shout-outs. I guess I will start. Batgirl number 17 came out, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And it's fun, it's short, it features Damian, which I was kind of didn't know if I would like because I don't really like Damian as a character, but he and Seth Brown have a really good chemistry, and it's this adorable kind of like older sister, younger brother kind of thing that happens. Yeah, so it's super good. Recommend it.
I figure after he becomes legal, they're going to be OTP, so get used to it.
Cougar, baby cougars.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Nice. I want to give a shout out to Wolverine and Jubilee. Catherine Immerman is awesome, and this is just Wolverine and Jubilee's relationship 10 times better because with 3 times as much angst. So yes.
I also wish she would like wear that costume that's on the cover because it looks so fierce. I'm like,
so good.
So
that
good.
needs to be her costume.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out really quickly to I Am an Avenger number 505, just because it has a Young Avenger story in it, which is it's so brief and passing, but I just thought I would mention it. So if you're a Young Avenger fan, check it out. There's some other interesting stuff with like the Wasp and bullshit, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. If you're a completist, you gotta get it. Yeah. Speaking of, the Wildstorm universe ended, and so the last comic book was Wildcats number 30. They wrap up all the loose ends and kind of bid farewell to all the characters. We hope they're coming back in the DCU, but it's not decided yet. And it was a very nice ending, I thought. So, yeah, shout out to this.
And I just want to give one last shout out to, so it's not really a shout out, but my friends and I did a Secret Santa thing this year, and my friend Lauren got me an art book by Joe Chen. Joe Chen's art book, who we all know was because I kind of really came on the spot with a bunch of things, but for me, her work on Runaways and her work on Buffy covers. And she got me the art book, which is so beautiful, and the cover's like holographic, and the production value is so gorgeous. And she go out and buy it just because Joe Chen, more so than even like Greg Land, like, she has such an eye for the male form. Like, all the guys in there are like super like smoking hot, and it's just like, oh, I get all hot and bothered just reading her art book or just looking at her art book. So go out and buy
it. Excellent. Okay, now on to business.
Yeah, so let's do Avengers: Children's Crusade first. Congrats, by the way, Avengers, for getting. I actually realized that both the books that we're talking about got nominated for a GLAAD Award. This year. Yeah, so Avengers Children's Crusade, which I noticed GLAAD called it Young Avengers Children's Crusade. Like, no, it's actually Avengers Children's Crusade. It's not a Young Avenger book, it's an Avenger book, so whatever. But yes, so crazy shit happens. We finally get to kind of begin to understand what's happened to Scarlet Witch and Wanda all these years. And we find out that she... Oh, so spoiler alert. I mean, if you read the last book, it's not a big spoiler.
It's really old, guys.
It's really old, yeah. It's 2 months old. But yeah, so Scarlet Witch is getting married to Victor Von Doom. And evidently she has been living in Latveria for the past, I don't know how many years. And her magic has been suppressing her powers and also her like memories, I guess, to keep her sane. And but I guess she still has this like hero streak in her, and she's kind of become like an advocate or like a community organizer in her oddly like medieval town in Latveria. I don't know what's going on, why they're all like peasants from like 1643. But she like met Victor whilst, you know, kind of advocating for whatever peasant rights in Latveria. And I guess they fell in love in this kind of strange way. But we get a lot of like crazy shenanigans with like the Avengers coming in, trying to rescue her, with Billy confronting Dr. Doom, and actually going toe to toe for some time.
Which was amazing.
Which was amazing. Although I'm very, it's kind of a lot of things happened with Dr. Doom and Billy, which I won't spoil because it's scary, but
You think he's gonna Anakin Skywalker?
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be fine. No, don't worry. We're gonna have to have some dramatic tension. He has to have a bad choice to make so that he can make the right choice.
Yeah, it's true.
The right choice is Teddy.
Did you have any thoughts?
I think you were talking about like we were getting what happened to the Scarlet Witch, and there was like a quick storyline right after Decimation, I think, where Clint Barton went looking for her and found a woman by the name of Wanda Maximoff in Wundagore, and I think that was because they destroyed a Doombot that looked like Wanda earlier in the series. That may be what he found, or it could have been her. I mean, it was again a woman who had no knowledge of the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
So,
So if that is true, then Clint Barton totally fucked a robot. Just
totally. Saying. But that's okay because so did the Scarlet Witch. And so did Stature.
Yep.
And so did so many people.
So many people.
Anyway, robots, sex robots. It's in your comics. We're all robosexuals. Anyway. Oh, and then at the end, spoiler alert, someone comes from the future to save the gay person because, just like in New Mutants, gay people are the answer to solving the problems of the future.
So does that like fall into like Don't Ask, Don't Tell or some bullshit?
Probably. Well, I mean, it's repealed now, right? So people came from the future to come get the gay people in the past because they were necessary. Mm-hmm. Yay, we're in the future now.
Yeah, and I also just really wanted to again give like big shout outs to Jim Chung's artwork. Like I constantly like go back and read his stuff, and his artwork is, I feel like it's like the only stuff that's coming out right now that I like have to read over and over and over again.
Well, some of it you do because it's so bad.
What?
Sorry, not Jim Chung's. I just mean artwork. When it's bad.
Oh, when it's bad. Oh, yes.
Yeah, sorry. That was unclear. No, Jim Chung's artwork is rich.
Yeah.
So you read it for more content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I don't get is how
we can. That's a perfect transition into art that you have to read over again.
Oh,
so
okay.
that.
We can talk about that. Yeah, but first thing, we can talk about good art. The cover artwork by Joe Chan is fantastic because it ties together. Like when I saw the cover, I was like, oh wow, that's such, because it ties together from like the first iconic cover when you see from I guess like Buffy season 9 issue 1, where she has her scythe, and it's just so like the difference in the covers is just like really wonderful. It kind of like brings completion to the series.
And it's funny because I feel like the image that they put for, and maybe I'm completely wrong, the image that they put for the solicits was that original cover.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah,
so very
and then it just made it so much more dramatic to get this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Store. It was awesome.
But speaking of bad art, who the fuck is this? I'm pretty sure it's Jennifer Aniston, circa like Friends season 1. It is totally the Rachel right there. It's like out of control. I'm like, what is going on?
Literally.
And I mean, but so the fun parts is that this story, at least in this comic, Buffy is back to like kind of like her roots as not only like in what she's doing, but just in the scope and just the feel of the book. It feels more like what we know from the television show. It feels much more grounded in reality. Like, I like the little bit of queerness at the very beginning where they talk, where she's serving cups of coffee to these gay guys who she's crushing on. But like in general, it's just like it's kind of refreshing to get more grounded in the book, because for the past few issues, it's just been so like grand. The scope has just been so kind of like enormous. And no offense, offense to George Dante, his art can't keep up with it. you know. And I feel like in this scale, I think it works better as a book.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think his strength has always been, I mean, the smaller, the more intimate type deals, even though I have trouble recognizing his characters. But yeah, I mean, I did definitely feel like this, because sometimes his artwork has felt rushed, like it's been very simple and broad, but this issue was rich, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I think it was good.
One thing I was not clear on was that if the Slayers, so the Slayers don't have their powers anymore, or do
no, they do.
They do. They still have their powers. They're just now angry at Buffy because she destroyed magic in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I guess I'm not really sure why they're so angry that she destroyed magic in the world if they still have their magic.
Yeah.
But... And then, like, vampires are still here, but are other demons still here?
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions floating around.
But I guess they'll have a whole nother 40 issues of comic sans for that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm very excited. I love that they're going back to, like, the roots, the square one type deal. I like that they kind of did that in season 7. It was nice to have all those parallels to the stuff that's come before, or that came before, and and the big, when they got into the comic books, it's interesting. I read the note in the back, and it was basically Joss Whedon saying that when they started doing the comic book, they were so excited to have this like grand, huge scale, and then they realized that really wasn't connecting with audiences as much as a simpler story that had its toes in the basics was going to. I think I made that.
Although, one thing that I did want to note is I'm kind of weirded out by how Dawn is like playing wife now. I'm like, how old is this girl? She's like 18, maybe like 19. Like,
yeah, totally.
Go to college.
Oh my gosh, don't go to college. Remember what happened last time we went to college?
Nope. Oh yeah, that's true.
Not us, them.
Okay, well, I think that's all we have time to talk about today. But thank you for tuning in to this issue. Make sure you tune in next time for another great discussion. There were so many books we didn't get to cover yet because Anthony hasn't gotten his books, so be sure to stay tuned.
Don't blame me, I have a class and blah, blah, blah.
Yep,
Also, I
just can't wait to talk about like Wonder Woman and some of the other stuff that came out. So, but,
I can't wait to read them.
Yay! Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, and again, come back and tune in next week.